Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and this is episode 301. We are cranking them out here. Sorry I wasn't able to do the 300 as I had previously hoped and planned. I know that there's been a lot going on. The eye is fixed, yay. It's not 100%, but it's a 2025 vision, which is pretty good. Right now, I'm just looking at my camera and stuff. I can tell that there's a little distortion into that eye, but it is definitely way better. I can see a lot better. Um, the biggest change from having my eye repaired is not the visual aspect as much as it is the mental aspect. It is my brain trying to process the images that you see. I remember science class, like studying the model of how they showed how the brain perceives images, that it goes into the eye and it like flips it upside down somehow, and then the image goes to the back of the brain where you process the images that you see. So, with all that in mind, I've been getting headaches in the back of my eye, in the back of my brain, I should say, back of my head, because I know that my brain is really working hard to try and regulate what I'm perceiving out of both eyes. For 6 months, it's been one eye. It's like, especially with like depth perception, reaching out and grabbing a pen or grabbing my cup. With my left eye doing most of the work, it's been one of those things. It's been one of those hurdles to get past. So anyway, that's out of the way. I went to Columbia this past week, Columbia, South Carolina, and worked out of one of our drop yards there. For those of you who don't know, I work for Performance Foods, and I am a trainer there, and we are hiring. If you need a job, go to pfgc.com, look up careers, and if you're anywhere in my area, go look under jobs that are available in Florence. Now, they post jobs all the time, and apparently they only allow so many applications per day because the thing gets all backlogged and it spits out stuff. And so, if you live in anywhere where we have a drop yard, anywhere from Goldsboro, North Carolina, through Wilmington, North Carolina, to St. Paul, North Carolina, um, obviously Florence. We're getting ready to open up a drop yard in Conway, South Carolina. We have one in Lexington, South Carolina, and one in Augusta, Georgia, and Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina. So if you're anywhere in those areas and you're looking for a job, search under Florence for driver, CDL driver, possibly salesman. I mean, I know that's constantly growing as well. If you're in the Florence area, and maybe you don't have like a professional job yet, there's jobs available within the warehouse. Now, the warehouse jobs are third shift to start with, but they are paying really well. I want to say they're starting out at like $20 an hour, and you can make up to $30 an hour. And you can also make bonuses depending upon how accurate and how quick you are. So, if anybody out there is like, I just can't seem to make any money, here's your notice. You can make money. You're going to work extremely hard. You're going to be probably work harder than you've ever worked in your life, and you're also going to get paid well. So, it's a trade off. What do you want? Do you want to make money? Do you want to be lazy? I mean, what do you want? So, I am back at work. I am training. I trained all this past week. It was very interesting working off of a drop yard because I'd not done it in a while, and I had to remember a lot of the things that are specific with the drop yard guys. We haul doubles to these areas, and from those areas, they come in when the doubles get there. Usually, the Columbia guys are getting their trucks around 4 a.m., 5 a.m., somewhere in that range. Um, and then from there, they take their routes and they go out and they deliver whatever's on that trailer. They come back and drop off an empty. And then while they're asleep, the doubles guy comes and picks it up and swaps it out with a full trailer, and so on and so forth. And that's how it works. So we are growing everywhere. Every single one of our drop yards, even in Florence, we are hiring like crazy because we're just trying to keep up with demand. The demand right now is incredible. You figure last year, COVID hit and we still grew even though COVID happened, even though the country was in a shutdown. There were a lot of people, I mean, I've talked about it on this podcast, who thought outside the box, who realized that they could do a drive through, even though their building may not have been built for a drive through. They've modified their buildings or they've set it up where people could call in an order and then people come out and bring them the order and stuff like that. Well, now those businesses, along with other businesses, are like, hey, let's do it that way too. Let's change the way that we're operating. Let's focus on getting people their stuff more efficiently. And it's all worked out in the best for everybody. So this year, the summer's coming back around. We're still in April and we're showing higher numbers than we had any day last year during the summer. I mean, this is incredible. But to keep up with that demand, we need people. So again, if you want a job, come to work with us. Okay. Um, so that being said, I have noticed some changes within certain companies. Like for instance, we have a contract right now with Zaxby's. And Zaxby's makes some really delicious chicken finger type meals, and they have all kinds of wonderful meals to enjoy. I really like their salads. Also the what is it, the blackened grilled chicken sandwich. Oh, that's one of my favorites. But for us personally, like anytime we're on the go and we just need something to kind of eat on the run, the Zax snack is really good. Um, they were planning on opening up several restaurants in different people's territories. I got drivers that work at night and deliver these places in the middle of the night whenever they're not there, because their parking lot may be in a mall area and they got to get a big truck in there, and it just works out better if they do it when nobody's around. So they were telling me that there's been a few that were planned to be built, that they've decided to change the plans of how they were built, and now they're being built some really similar to how Chick-fil-A is building theirs, with like a double drive-through kind of thing. Because they were like, why would we, like, in the middle of all this going on, it's irresponsible of us to try and use our land to have a restaurant where people sit inside when we're doing so well with just a drive-through and a very small like indoor area. They could still do an indoor area, but maybe dedicate more of their building to their drive-through service, because they realize that people are adapting and some people are really liking the fact that they can grab their food and go. I know us included, one of the favorite things we do is run to go pick up food and come home and eat, because we can eat in our pajamas and watch TV, or listen to music or whatever. We can just be here instead of out in public with all that public is. And I heard it said in a movie one time, why would we want to go outside when we've really perfected being indoors? I mean, we spend a lot of our time making indoors comfortable, and there's an argument for that. Um, there is not much that I watched this week. I know this is stuff I heard, and I usually tell you about stuff I've seen or listened to or whatever, and I have not done any of that. I've been just working, just as boring as it sounds, working. I did get to see a really, really crappy movie on Netflix, which I'm sure a lot of you have already seen, or a lot of you have heard is really crappy. It's called Waterworld. Now, for those of you who don't know, Waterworld stars Kevin Costner and Dennis Hopper. Kevin Costner is supposed to be this guy who, in the beginning, he's like the hero of the show, and he's different than normal people. There's no land. Everybody's living on these floating ships and crafts that they've either found, stolen, or just inhabited or built. And he seems to have some special ability to swim down to the bottom and bring stuff back. Now, you learn as you're watching the thing that he's some sort of hybrid. He has gills and he has sort of webbed feet, and that allows him to then breathe and go deeper and all that kind of stuff. And he's kind of a pirate. And the movie's awful. The movie is terrible. The story is terrible. The whole thing is terrible. I watched it specifically because I knew it was going to be terrible, and I was in a hotel room out of town, and I thought, well, I've been putting this off. It's sort of like a root canal, but I figured it'd be a fun root canal because it was historically bad. I was like, whatever. I mean, listen, on Netflix, whoever judges these things gave it like a 97%, thumbs up. And I'm like, really? Because this is pretty awful. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. You know, there were some moments where you're like, well, that was pretty clever. But all in all, it was just terrible. There were a lot of actors that I recognized. I was like, oh, I know that guy from Sons of Anarchy. Or, oh, that's that guy from that superhero movie. Oh, that's the guy from, whatever. And I don't know if a lot of them got their start there, but I think historically there was some record of the amount of money it took to make this movie and the big pile of steaming crap that it became. and the fact that it didn't make anything back. I mean, it was just like word of mouth traveled fast, and they were like, "Stay away from this pile of garbage." So I don't know. It's if it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's definitely not anywhere near mediocre. If that makes sense. It's pretty bad. Um, I did watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and I got down the rabbit hole of watching some videos of this one guy in particular because of YouTube, because of Facebook, because of sharing videos that I've made on my videos. I have a Grilla Grills pellet grill. They're made out of Michigan, and they're double walled insulated. You know, the big pot part that you cook in is double wall insulated because they're in Michigan. They're trying to make sure that the heat stays hot in the extreme cold that they have. The door on it is a thick gauge stainless steel. I've had my grill for years now, and I've made tons and tons of YouTube videos on it. If you guys are curious, I have playlists on my YouTube page. Go check it out. Just look Joshua Peak and Grilla Grills Silverback, and you'll see it. So, anyway, I had made a video a while back of a problem with using cheap pellets in these grills. Now, there are some grills out there that'll use cheap pellets, and they'll do just fine because they were made to burn hot and fast, and you'll be like, well, I bought these 40 pounds of pellets for $10, and you'll use those pellets just as quickly as I'll use my 20-pound Grilla Grills pellets. Mainly because it's made with a lot of junk wood. By junk wood, I mean specifically Adler wood. Adler wood burns hot and fast, and it also creates a ton of ash. And then you're going to be cleaning your grill a lot. Using this harder wood that's in my Grilla Grills wood that I buy, the pellets that I buy, it's about $20 for a 20-pound bag, and a 20-pound bag will last me quite a while. Um, I know that I can use some trigger pellets. I've used those in the past, but they also have blends that have Adler wood in it, and they're made to burn hotter and faster as well. They create more ash. They also burn too hot for the machine to really regulate that well. These grills, for whatever reason, are made for hardwood only, and they do great. But if you ever get that cheap pellet grill wood stuff wet, it like expands and grows and seems to like spawn extra, kind of like the Star Trek, Trouble with Tribbles episode. It's sort of like that. They're just everywhere. You're like, I thought I cleaned this out, and it just keeps popping up everywhere, and it clogs up the whole thing. It expands and clogs up, and it'll eventually close that port where you normally put the pellets in the hopper, and it feeds through, and it goes into the auger, and then it drops into the pot and burns. Well, if it can't make it through, then you're not cooking anything, and it shuts itself off, and it gives you all kind of error codes. I made a video, and I said, this is how you fix this problem. I took it apart, basically. I took it apart, problem solved it, figured it out, cleaned it out, showed people what I did, and it was shared a lot. Apparently, it was shared a lot on certain grilling pages on Facebook and stuff like that. Well, there's this guy out there. He has his own YouTube page. I highly recommend checking him out. It's called the Dawgfather's Barbecue. DAWGFATHER BBQ. Check him out. He's got the video that he linked to me because he was like, thank you, this helped me a lot. Like, I had a problem with mine, and this is what I did, and your video actually showed me step by step what to do. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I've checked out some of your videos. I've subscribed to you. Check this video out. I mean, I've been doing this too, and I'm just looking to get some traction. I clicked on his video. It was how to make a brisket for beginners. And at the time I clicked on it, it had like 1.2 million views. I was like, holy crap, that's huge. That's going viral. Because I looked at all his other videos, and there was a lot of them before it where it was like, 100 views, 200 views, and then all of a sudden 1.2 million. I'm like, wow. So, and you can tell like he saw that and instantly thought, oh crap, like this is going to be a thing. So he apparently went out and bought better cameras and got sponsorships from certain people, because all of a sudden I saw like new grilling equipment in the background, and he's making videos going, check out we're going to do this today on my Louisiana grill. And he's showing off this Louisiana grill, and he's like, we're going to use so-and-so pellets. And for this, I'm using such and such rub. And he's like doing it like, I was like, dude, you made it. Holy cow. That's awesome. I was so happy for him. I was like, this is so cool. I mean, who would have thought that average everyday citizens would become like basically spokesmen for certain things? And there is a lot in that. There's a lot that should be shared about that, and the fact that, we can all be role models to each other. We can all help each other. You know, that mentality of if I eat, we all eat kind of mentality. It's like, hey, let's just share the love. Like, let's help each other out. Let's help each other succeed. Let's help each other. Let's lift each other up. And so he sort of did that for me by, pointing this out and sort of drawing some attention my way. And so I wanted to throw some attention his way. I looked at his videos and there was one on there that I was really curious about. It was how to make poor man's burnt ends. And I had tried to make burnt ends before, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I have a friend of mine, Josh West, who makes a lot of burnt ends, and he sort of shared the recipe, but he's like, I don't know, he's a little cryptic in the way he tells it, like he's trying to keep a secret or something. I'm like, just tell me how you made it. I want to make them. And so, and I don't know if it's necessarily that or if it's just that he's busy with his own life and just doesn't have time to tell me all of the information. So anyway, Dawgfather's barbecue. I watched his video, how to make poor man's burnt ends. Really easy recipe to follow, step by step instructions. He gives you options like if you have pink butcher paper versus aluminum foil, how to wrap it, you know, little stuff like that. I actually went out and bought pink butcher paper because of this video. I looked around town, I couldn't find any anywhere. I actually found this on Amazon and it was a decent price. And it had a lot of good reviews, and I was like, sure, I'll just go ahead and buy some because I'm going to use it more than once. It's worth the investment to do this. And anyway, I followed his recipe today on my Grill Silverback pellet grill, and let me tell you what, it turned out fantastic. Um, I had some Willie's Hog Dust seasoning that I'd gotten from my wife. She had gone to a food show where I guess Willie's is made in Sumter, South Carolina. Um, it's really for any kind of meat. It's just a good seasoning. I used it on the meat itself with some mustard. Now people go, "Why'd you use mustard?" Listen, they use mustard at In-N-Out Burger. I learned that years ago. That's how they get their meat taste so good. It has something to do with the way it cooks on the grill. It like tenderizes the meat or adds a little bit of flavor. It's not going to taste mustardy. It gives it like a, I don't know, just a little bit of a zest. The vinegar helps break down the meat a little bit. It also helps bind it to the meat, any kind of seasoning that you have. I just coated the thing with mustard and put this seasoning on it and let it sit in the fridge overnight. Next morning, I turned the grill on and threw this stuff on, and it turned out great. Listen, I'm making a video and I'm going to share it with you guys. It's on YouTube, probably right now. I mean, it was publishing as I hit record to do this episode. So go check it out. I give him a huge shout out. I actually put his link in the comment section of my video. I'm going to send him my link and give him a big shout out again. Maybe he'll check it out and give me a thumbs up or whatever. Listen, I dig it. I like it. I like the fact that he succeeded. Great. That's awesome. Um, you know, if my videos help link him together with his audience or my audience or whatever, great. That's awesome. But the main thing is it's common everyday people figuring something out and sharing it with all of you so that it's not a magic trick. It's not like you can be sitting around going, but I don't know how to make anything. Okay, well, here's step by step instructions. Here's videos. All you got to do is follow the steps. So, big shout out, Dawgfather's Barbecue. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. What else? Oh, that's about it. How long have I been doing this? I don't even know. I wish I should have like a counter here. I only took 3 notes. I wrote down here Waterworld, Poor Man's Barbecue, and Back at Work. That's all I wrote. I did listen to my buddy Greg's podcast. Greg Steele has a podcast called 5 and 40. And I've been on razzing him for a while because he hasn't put a podcast out since November. And then suddenly there was one. And I was like, oh, how about that? He talks about NFTs, what NFTs are, non-fungible tokens. He talks about all sorts of things about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all these things that he finds really curious and fascinating. Also something called YAT, Y-A-T, which is just there's so much new technology based things going on that people are investing in and interested in, that I feel like it's one of those freight train moments where the cycle of everything is going to pass a bunch of us by. Like we're all going to sit around one day and go, God, why didn't I get on the ground floor of that? I feel that way about Tesla. I was excited about Tesla probably 6 years ago. And for whatever reason, I just never moved towards buying a whole bunch of stock in Tesla. But I should have, because I had that much faith in it. And now look at it. I mean, holy cow. There's a lot of people that felt that way about Bitcoin when it came out. They were like, "Ooh, I'm investing in this now." Well, great. That's awesome. I have not. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I'm like you. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? Um, I did do a little bit of financial stuff this week because I'm back at work. I was able to contact my 401k people and get my 401k started again. But to be honest, I need to start moving some money over to a Roth IRA so that some of it's taxable and some of it's already taxed. It would help, I think, in the long run, to have a little bit of both to be able to access. So, yeah, all kinds of fun stuff going on, man. And, you know, the basis of it was like during the whole time that I was healing, it was learn as much as I can, get involved as much as I can, be ready to hit the ground running just as soon as I can. And now I'm doing that. Now I'm back at it. Now I'm in the midst of it. We are gearing up to have one incredible summer at work, and our company shows no sign of slowing down. If anything else, it's growing exponentially. It's probably growing as fast as Bitcoin is. So that's probably not true. Some of the others are like, "You're an idiot." Yeah, that's true. I'm an idiot. I don't know a lot, but I'm learning, and I encourage everybody out there to learn as well. Whatever you feel like you need to learn, do it. Um, I still have these amiibo cards for Animal Crossing that my buddy Greg sent me that I have to figure out how to use. I haven't had time to look at them. I've been so busy. I mean, there's little characters on them, and supposedly you can do something with your controller to scan it, and then their characters are available on your. I got to spend time and figure this out because that's a whole nother set of videos. But when am I going to do that? If you guys could see this room right now, this room is ridiculous. I have stuff everywhere in my podcast room because we've been painting. We've been painting the entire house. We are prepping our bedroom to be painted next weekend. So after we finish that bedroom, the only two rooms we have left is the room that I'm in and our laundry room. And then the whole house would have been painted on the inside. Why? See, that's the question I get asked. Why? Why did you do it? Why would you start to paint now? I don't know. I don't know. Because my wife's been beating me up for years about, I want to paint this a different color. I want to paint this a different color. And then she sent me out to go get paint, and I just splattered it on the wall. I was like, here, now you can look at it. We need to get started. So I guess I'm at fault. I guess it was my fault. It's my fault. Hi, my name is Josh, and I'm the reason we're painting our house. And I just sit here and act stupid because I don't know why we're doing it. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you to everybody who's listening. Again, go check out Dawgfather's Barbecue. Tell him I sent you. Be like, hey, man, I heard you on Stuff I Heard podcast. That was really awesome. Love your videos. Watch his videos. He's got some great cooking videos. He is really fantastic at it. And he makes better videos than I do. He's got like production value. He's got good camera. He's got great lighting. He's outside and the sound sounds great. I'm like, dude, I need to step up my game. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. I did watch the final Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I really want to talk to Josh Treadaway about it on the podcast. Yeah, so we'll get to it somehow. I'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do it Wednesday. Maybe I'll get off work and I'm getting my COVID shot Wednesday. We'll do it Wednesday. Fuck it. We'll figure it out. All right. Thanks for listening. Please remember, rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. If you want to be on the podcast, let me know. We'll we'll do it. I might slide in like I'm on fire, and I'm like, all right, let's go, and just whatever. We'll figure it out. Okay. Y'all take care, and as always. So I want more legs. Give